Very much indeed. James and then finally Rebecca.
Yes, thank you. Professor Martin, could you tell us briefly about the structure of the governance structures, the organisation of governance structures in the UK for dealing with cybersecurity and resilience of national infrastructure and their role in general terms in responding to cyber incidents?
Quickly as I can. So it's governed by the National Security Council, chaired by the Prime Minister. There is a subcommittee on, it used to be called Threats, Risks and Hazards. I don't know if it still is, but there's a subcommittee that deals with critical infrastructure. There isn't a single policy department for this, insofar as there is. It's probably the Cabinet Office. I think some of the governance of cybersecurity policy issues is a bit messy. And that's a certain inevitability about that. It's so cross-cutting, but it might do with a bit of looking at. Then the model is the National Cybersecurity Centre, part of GCHQ, is the single source of advice, but it is not a regulator and has no regulatory functions whatsoever. And then it's the sectoral regulators, the Bank of England, Ofgem, Ofcom, etc.
Thank you. And second question for me is really the extent to which attacks are being reported and recorded. So does the public, and indeed do the agencies and does the government have a clear idea of what's going on? To both of you, if possible.
Not as clear as might be. It's difficult. So France passed a very, very what you might call widely defined law with incredibly onerous duties to report cyber attacks, and you get these statistics which are a bit ridiculous. This bank faces 58 million attacks a day, and in some respects that's true. In other respects it's nonsense. It's just so what is a cyber attack is quite difficult. I think that in critical sectors, thanks to the Network Information Security Directive, which was EU in 2017, so still applies to us, there are disclosure obligations on critical infrastructure companies. So it's better for critical infrastructure designated companies.
Professor Creese, do you have any thoughts on that?
I agree wholeheartedly with Professor Martin. Just to go one step further, I would imagine that one of the more challenging spaces is actually when thinking about supply chains. So interdependencies between organisations has always been challenging. We're moving towards quite complex supply chains, dare I say ultra large scale infrastructures, and understanding and the level of risk based upon reporting from multiple organisations and putting that together into a bigger risk picture. That's probably a capability gap that we need to look at for the future.
Thank you, James. And finally,